Final moments of daylight here on a Friday evening in Winston-Salem. Opening day of the 2023 baseball season. A season that begins with such optimism and hype for the 6th-ranked Demon Deacons, who now turn it over to the freshman, Joe Ariola, New York native who makes his 2023 Wake Forest debut in relief of Keener and Mascolo, who have combined to allow just 2 hits through the first 7 innings.
Ariola, a guy that the staff is very, very high on. Go 91 to 94 with his fastball. He's got some ride to it. Got a slider and a changeup as well. Got to stay around the strike zone. That's the key.
Other defensive changes for the Deeks as Ariola shows the live arm and needs to control it. Sure he will. There's Gio Cueto. Catcher wearing number 16 takes over for Bennett Lee. A 4-game weekend, and Lee will get to end his day after 7 innings in game number 1. Justin Johnson, the Lafayette transfer, taking over for Corona at second base. Left-hander has it fouled, in play, I should say, down the third base line, and nicely done by Wilkin over at third to get Saucedo for the first out here in the 8th.
Well, are they going to call him back? Catcher's interference? They're going to put him at first base.
Wow. That's an E2.
Yep.
So,
I'm not sure running down to first is exactly the way that you sell that from a hitter's perspective.
didn't look like the firmest of contacts between the bat and the glove, but replay certainly made it look like it grazed the glove.
Umpires were all over it.
So Joe Ariola is going to forever say, yeah, the first guy I faced in college reached on catcher's interference, and then I hit the second guy, and, well, if he gets a 5-4-3 triple play to get out of this, it's going to be one heck of a story.
It's kind of an atypical approach to your debut, but
2 on with nobody out. Penguins have not gotten a base runner past second base against Wake Forest so far in the game, but they've got a great opportunity here against the 19-year-old from Malvern, New York. Trey Law, the leadoff hitter for Youngstown State, fouls that one down the third base line. He's 0 for 3 in this one. He's 0 for 7 on the day.
tough way to start the season. Boy, you work so hard and you want to come out and get things going in a positive fashion.
One of my favorite stories from my time in the minor leagues, the beat writer for the local paper decided at media day that he was going to ask the position players, how many at-bats to start the season would you be concerned by if you don't have a hit by a certain number of at-bats? And like number 4, number 5 hitter, a slugger, as the pitch gets away, runners will go up to second and third, 2 in scoring position here in the 8th. Of course, one guy, like in a night when the team scored 11 runs to start the season, like the number 4 or 5 hitter went 0 for 5, and the beat writer comes down and one of his teammates said, "Hey, go talk to him who got no hits. Go ask him about it."
Yeah.
Because that's how players are.
That's how players are, exactly right.
Law fouls that one off to the left side. Of course, that guy a few games later got going and started hitting rockets everywhere, and it's only a matter of time for a guy who can hit and has the skill. With a 9-run lead, the defense is back. RBI opportunity for Law, and he's hit by the pitch. How about that? So an error on a catcher's interference, a walk, and a hit batter with a wild pitch mixed in to load the bases. And I stand by. This is one heck of a way to get the triple play to get out of the jam.
So what you're telling me is you're calling a triple play here?
Why not?
You're going to hang your hat on that as Corey Mascaro is going to go out to the mound to have a talk to the young left-hander. We mentioned it's all about finding the strike zone. There's no doubt of the natural ability of Ariola. It's just a question of making sure you're consistently getting over the home plate. And very quickly there's action in the Wake Forest bullpen as well. But to build on that story about how far can I go,
Cole Rowland in the pen.
We play when I was with Milwaukee. George Bamberger was our manager, and he had been the pitching coach of the great Baltimore staffs back in the 70s. And they came into Milwaukee. We scored 49 runs, I think, in 3 games.
Wow.
And somebody had the nerve to ask Earl Weaver if he was happy for George Bamberger that he got off to a good start. And it kind of went the way of the Tommy Lasorda.
Right.
Who was the manager in Chicago that had the great outburst? One of those tirades.
Yeah.
Of how happy he was for George Bamberger.
Ozzie Guillen?
No, it wasn't Ozzie.
He was known for some
Lee
outbursts too.
Lee Ilya. Anyway,
strike one in there from Ariola.
He wasn't too happy for George, and he wasn't too happy that somebody asked him the question, and he let him know.
A grumpy manager postgame. Cannot imagine. Bases loaded for Youngstown State. Nobody out here in the 8th. Fly ball left field. Sasiri stepped in, stepped back, makes the catch. Comes up throwing home, but it's cut, and the Penguins are on the board. It's a sacrifice fly for Turner Gra. 9-1 the score here in the 8th.
A good comeback, though, for Ariola. Got the ball in on the hands.
And that's an unearned run because Saucedo reached on the catcher's interference, E2. So the ERA still 0.00 for the moment. Not that Ariola has his mind on such things.
I don't know how much attention pitchers pay to ERA these days. Pitchers' wins have become a thing kind of the past.
Well, ERA is not going to be 0.00 anymore unless Bennett can rifle one to the plate, and it's cut by Kurtz over at first. So 2 runs in here this inning, and an RBI single for Braden O'Shaughnessy makes it 9-2.
Well, that's a good swing by O'Shaughnessy, who is a legitimate hitter by every single account. That ball away from him a little bit. Rips it into right. Bennett knew he had no chance.
Franken with good speed coming around from second base to score. Desanio with a big cut and a miss on the first pitch fastball from Ariola. Now just checking out some other college baseball scores on opening day for everybody here, Larry. And there's a couple scores that will raise your eyebrows. Notre Dame loses to Lipscomb 5-4. North Carolina, 12th ranked Tar Heels, currently trailing against Seton Hall 7-4 in the 6th. Number 14 Virginia Tech down 1-0 to College of Charleston, 6th inning in the Hokies opener. Swing and a miss, and Desanio is down by way of the K for the second time today. First strikeout for Joe Ariola. 2 men gone here in the 8th with runners at the corners for Patrick O'Shaughnessy.
Some good action on that 91-mile-per-hour fastball.
Strike one in there.
Well, you list those scores, man. There's a reason they play the game of baseball.
Boston College out on the West Coast facing Pepperdine. The Eagles trail 5-0 out there. So Shaughnessy fouls it off. But Louisville took care of business, 7-1 win over Bucknell. Georgia Tech's clobbering Miami of Ohio, 15-5 in the fifth. Clemson all over Binghamton, 10-1. Duke destroying St. Joe's, 11-zip in the eighth. Florida State a 7-1 lead over James Madison in the third inning.
Binghamton will be back down here next weekend to play Wake Forest. That's a 4 o'clock start on Friday.
Sounds right. Still to start tonight, number 22 Miami taking on Penn State in the opener for the Hurricanes. First pitch at 7 o'clock.
You mentioned Pepperdine. You ever been out to that campus?
I've only seen pictures.
It's not terrible.
It is breathtaking.
Yeah, I did a couple games out there one weekend for ESPN. It was pretty spectacular looking out at the ocean.
That's a line drive base hit for Pat O'Shaughnessy in the left. Law in to score. It's a 3-run eighth inning. And things could get interesting pretty quickly here.
Batting for the Penguins.
9-3.
Number 5.
Wake Forest's 9-run lead has been cut down to 6.
Well, they got interesting in the first game for Youngstown State, and Tom Walter's going to make the journey to the mound. So that will do it for Ariola in his debut.
Faces 7 hitters. And look, the inning began with a
In
catch.
his debut.
Faces 7 hitters. And look, the inning began with a catcher's interference. So certainly a peculiar way for Ariola to begin his season. Showed some life to his fastball too. Pitching change here at the couch. Penguins off.